Welcome to the broadcast. Pretty Janet is our sign language interpreter and I am Ashley Mazuri. Now tonight, scores of families are spending yet another agonizing night without their loved ones. Young protesters arrested during the Saba demonstrations, locked behind bars, not for conviction, but failing to raise the steep bail imposed on them. As pressure now mounts, the judiciary insists on its independence, but legal experts and rights groups say the courts are increasingly being used to silence dissent. KTN's security editor Francis Ontomwa reports on what many see as the creeping criminalization of protests and the erosion of fundamental rights, innocent until proven guilty.
Tears, frustration and despair outside the Thika law courts. Mothers wail uncontrollably, helpless and hopeless. Their sons and daughters will spend another night in custody. Faces of Kenya's poor mothers who cannot raise the heavy bail slapped on their children. Most of these arrested, young and unemployed, arrested during the Saba protest in Juja and charged with robbery with violence. The court has imposed a cash bill of 100,000 shillings or a bond of 300,000 shillings with a surety. For these families, even raising a fraction of that is impossible. Under the Kenyan law, bail is a right, not a privilege, enshrined in the Constitution, the Criminal Procedure Code, and the bail and bond policy guidelines.
The courts must be mindful that they give reasonable terms, that those bail or bond terms should not be excessive to the extent that a feeling is brought to the people of Kenya that they are being weaponized as an aim of punishing, as an aim of ensuring people do not exercise their rights that are protected under the Constitution.
But what exactly is reasonable bail and bond terms? Who decides how high the bail should be?
And considerations still lie with the judge or magistrate by dint of the CPC Act, the Criminal Procedure Code, allowing discretion, but they must take into consideration the circumstances of the accused person.
Lawyer Julius Miri, who is also representing some of the accused persons, believes the affected families still have legal options.
The law provides for what we call review. So, for example, you're slapped with 100,000 and maybe I'm only able to afford 2,000 bob or 10,000 bob. I'm allowed to do an application before the court, and the court might, again, it's discretionary, might review that and, of course, give me an amount that I can be able to pay.
In some instances, protesters have been slapped with terrorism-related charges, an alarming escalation that human rights defenders say is part of a broader state crackdown on dissent.
For you to be able to prove that charge of terrorism, it has a very high standard of proof. So at the end of the day, it is the state probably trying to sell fear to the people so that we do not have so many people coming out to express themselves.
In a statement, the Judicial Service Commission has hit back at its critics, calling for respect and independence to carry out its constitutional mandate free from political interference. That bail decisions are being weaponized to suppress dissent